The Beatles, the best-selling band of all time, reflected the struggles of many Americans.
Recovering from World War II and facing the hardships that the Cold War brought gave many American citizens a need for something hopeful to grasp onto. This is where the Beatles come in.
Their music was inspirational, and their personal history gave them the advantage when it came to public relations. A large majority of the American public found it easy to feel a connection to the band because they defied conformity and became successful within their independence.
The band formed in 1960 when John Lennon and Paul McCartney met while performing in small jazz bands at the same venue.
Originally, the band was composed of 5 active members: John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Stu Sutcliffe, and Paul Best.
Issues started arriving, though, when Stu decided to leave the group to pursue his dream of an art career and to marry the woman he loved.
Adapting to the change, Pete Best was replaced by Ringo Starr, and the Fab Four, also known during the time as the Silver Beatles, released their first single, Love Me Do, in 1962.
Using their music, they support the idea of going against conformity when they sing lyrics such as, "Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time."
The Beatles weren't able to convince a label to sign them until a record store owner, Brian Epstein, took it upon himself to manage the band's success.
With his help, their first album, Please Please Me, was released in the UK in March 1963.
After a few weeks, the songs She Loves You and Please Please Me from that album became so popular in the UK that they were given limited yet public airplay in the US.
The band was booked on Ed Sullivan's CBS network variety show, where they gained an estimated 72 million fans. Once they became known across the globe, they released 7 albums in the US alone.
They gained their popularity when they sang words such as "All my troubles seem so far away, now it looks as though they're here to stay," and it impacted many people because those people felt as if the band was singing right to them and about their problems.
After becoming popular in the US, it was only a matter of time before they were 4 of the most influential people in America. Each of the 4 musicians became members of the Order of the British Empire, a very prestigious award, usually only given to military and government officials.
Overall, McCartney wrote 32 #1 singles and Lennon wrote 26, giving the band the recognition for having more #1 singles than any other musical group.
They performed on average 5 times in 3 days because of their incredible popularity.
The Beatles have had more #1 albums in the US and the UK than any other band. Worldwide, they have sold over 1 billion discs and tapes.
Their song Yesterday is the most covered song in history, with over 3,000 recorded versions, and their song I Want to Hold Your Hand was the fastest selling single of all time.
The group is now in the World Record Book for concert attendance at their shows.
The Beatles were important to our history because not only the band as a whole, but each of the members individually represent the average American and the hardships they faced.
From Lennon having to marry his pregnant girlfriend to countless failures as musicians before their unlimited fame, they all dealt with many problems throughout their lives which made them relatable and gave people hope.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.